Hi everyone, I'm Irene. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to be sharing information on the Bob Marley Museum in Kingston, Jamaica. I did mention the Bob Marley Museum in a past video on things to do while you're in Kingston, but I wanted to do a separate video on this just because there are some other things that I wanted to share with you about this attraction or location. I'm not really sure it's considered an attraction just because it's actually it used to be his house when he was still alive. So it is a place that you can visit, and if you are a Bob Marley fan, then you definitely will want to check out his house. So they have it open to the public for tours, and so when you go into Kingston, you can just plug it into your GPS, and it was a little bit tricky for us because it's not completely obvious where it is. There are some small signs. So we passed it, I think, maybe 2 times before we actually figured out that it's not part of, the other houses or businesses around. It's actually the Bob Marley Museum. So, well, not museum, but house. So anyway, once you find it, then you go in. There's just a little bit of a driveway. There's also a guardhouse as you enter, and you don't pay there. You go through there, that little driveway. It's kind of a tight squeeze even. So, okay, when you go in, there is the house straight ahead. The parking is on the left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side there is the area. It's like a covered area with 2 structures, kind of not really connected. Well, maybe they are connected. They're not obviously connected, but I believe they technically are. Anyway, so that's where you get your ticket, and then there's also the other part of that is an area that you can get sandwiches, you can get drinks, you can get smoothies. I can't remember if they had beer there. We got smoothies, and so they had some berry smoothies, some other fruit smoothies, and then there was one that we tried that was peanuts and oats, and then I can't remember what else they put in it, but they blended it all together, and it did taste a lot like peanuts because they put peanuts in it, but it was very grainy because of the raw oats that they put in it. So anyway, for 13-year-olds and up, it's $25 to tour the house, and then for 4 years old to 12 years old, it's $12, and then so children younger than 4, it's free. So that is for the house tour itself, and then you can go right online and get your tickets that way, or just get them when you get there. And so we got ours when we got there. There is also an option of a studio tour added on to the house tour, which brings the price up to $40. And so that's really one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video is that, okay, so just to back up, we were traveling with other people. We had my niece with us and also my daughter's boyfriend with us. And so most of us wanted to do just the house tour, but then my daughter and her boyfriend wanted to do the house tour plus the studio tour, which we figured was fine. Oh, we also had my husband's brother and his family with us. But anyway, everybody else did the house tour. It was only the 2 of them that wanted to do the combo tour. So they paid $40, and then we waited over by where we got the smoothies. There are some tables out front, and like I said before, it's all a covered area, so it's nice, it's shaded. You can get out of the sun for a little bit and have your smoothie and your sandwich while you're waiting for your tour to start, which worked out really well. That's what we did. And so we were all there gathered. Other people were also kind of trickling in, and as they paid, there was like a group of us then that was starting the tour all together. And then if they have too many people, then they break up the group into a separate tour, which is what happened when we were there. And so our group, when it was our turn, then the tour guide came over, introduced himself, and then took us over to the front of the house to look at a plaque first, and then he introduced himself. He said that he actually knew Bob Marley, and so he was also a friend of the family and was able to give us some really great information, not only about Bob Marley, but the family, and also about the Rastafarian religion, which is the religion that Bob Marley was a part of, which was really informative. And so he explained like his nickname, Tough Gong, and then gave us some background information on that, and then also spoke a little bit about his children and his life. And so it was really informative. We really enjoyed it a lot. And so when we went through the house and we were looking around, he was telling us the significance about each room, and there is also a studio that he has in his house, and that was really interesting to see some of his records, and because he had received a bunch of gold records for selling so many, and so those were all hung up all over, and they had some of his clothes there that you could see, and it was still furnished. As from what I'm remembering, everything was furnished. We weren't able to take any pictures or video inside, so I will only have pictures of the outside to show you all. And so we just went through the house. We towards the end saw a little bit of video of more of like his tours, and more about his life, his biography. And then they also have a gift shop there if you are interested in purchasing shirts and cups, and they have so many things there. One thing to keep in mind though is that while it's nice to have access to all of those items in the gift shop, really when you're going around Jamaica, there are items with Bob Marley on them everywhere. So even at the roadside stands that sell souvenirs, they will have Bob Marley t-shirts for a fraction of the price. So anyway, one thing to keep in mind if you want to save a few dollars on souvenirs and still get some items with his image on it or his name, then that's another way to do it. So then at the end, before I forget, so you can also get his CDs there. So that definitely is something that you're not going to see at other gift shops or stands. At least I didn't see them anywhere, his CDs. So if you want to get the CDs, I think the way they have several different kinds. Obviously you can get them online too, or on iTunes. But I think the one they offered there was slightly different than ones that I've seen online before. So anyway, if you're a fan, you might be interested in that. Or you probably, if you are a fan, you probably already have his songs. So the other thing to know is that since you are getting a tour guide for this, then just like every other place in Jamaica that offers a tour guide, whether it be an outdoor attraction or a house tour of some sort, like the Johnny Cash house tour or the Rose Hall house tour, anytime you have a guide, you want to tip them at the end. And then lastly is the transportation piece. So getting back to what I said before, one of the reasons why I wanted to make sure to do this video was that we weren't aware up front that if you choose the combo tour, that the studio tour that is added on to the house tour is in a different location. So we were told that it was about 10 minutes away and that we would need to get our own transportation, which again, we were all driving there together, and the only two that were doing the combo tour was my daughter and her boyfriend, and neither of them were driving. My husband usually is the one that drives us around when we're there, and so they were told that they would need to get a taxi to take them there at their own cost. So that's not even part of the price that you pay for the tour. So again, the combo is $40, and then you also have to get your own transportation to the studio, which is about a 10-minute drive away. So I think that was something that I wish we would have known ahead of time, because we wouldn't have chosen to do that, which they were really good about giving them a refund. It was a little bit of a discussion. I would say it wasn't too much of a hassle or like difficult time, but it definitely took some time to get their refund. And the other thing with that is that they weren't very disappointed with not doing the studio tour after the house tour, because it does take a pretty significant amount of time going through the whole house, and then the video, and then looking through the gift shop. So, and he also has the studio in his house, so you still get that experience of being in a studio that he used. So they didn't feel very disappointed about not doing the studio tour because of those things. So anyway, if there are any additional things that I may have left out that you are thinking would be important for other people to know before they go, then please leave that information in the comments below. If you have been on the tour, please let me know if you enjoyed it and if you would recommend it to others. And in general, I really enjoyed the tour. I definitely recommend it, especially if you are a fan. And it's interesting even if you're not a fan, but I like history and learning about people. So if you also like things like that, then I think you'll really enjoy it. So anyway, hope that you felt like this video was helpful. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and please subscribe to catch some of my other videos. Thanks, bye.